still holding out hope for that's going to arrive before we get started. If not, we'll get started without them, and we'll just have to cross in front of everybody as they arrive. But we're going to get started either way in about 1 or 2 minutes. So if anyone that has come since I last announced and needs to use the restroom quick, you can go out these doors, make a right, and make a quick left. There's a set of bathrooms at the end of the hallway. Or you can go down to the cafe and make a right, and you'll see another set of restrooms there as well. So, and there'll be plenty of time for photos later and interaction with the companies in the hallway, etc. So I'll be back with you in just a couple of minutes. All right.
Indiana, him and I were buddies. I said I just got like 6 kids jobs on Monday. We started an apprenticeship program for One Bank in America during COVID.
The panel of departments, what is yours?
It's snowballed from there. Yeah, so they come to our school. Oh my goodness.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So I've been doing that for a long, long time. This year, we always just had a career for the high school. Now we have one for elementary. Next month, I go to the middle school. Yeah, it was cool. It's fun to do. Like, yeah, and I want to do something like a couple of kids that went on the interview and didn't have like nice clothes. So I took one room and I'm gonna have it. It's like the dress for success. It's like I want to give like every single senior they need, like shoes. So I got a lot of cool things planned. So I'm excited, and it's just nice to be able to like.
Well, again, good morning, everyone.
I have 25 kids waiting for me. It's like 9 o'clock.
Morning, everyone. That's a little better. This is a high-energy event today, so we want you guys to be engaged, and hopefully you're somewhat awake. If you didn't see when you came in, there were some snack foods up there to make sure nobody passes out on us today or anything like that. So, but if you didn't get a chance to grab those, you can still grab some of those later today, and we do have a lunch for you later as well. So, but we're going to go ahead and get started. The first thing I'm going to tell you guys is bear with me because I didn't know I was going to be holding the mic, and I have to do the laptop and my notes, so I need an extra hand. So anyway, if something gets dropped, you know why. So, but my name is Scott Dietz. I am the Director of Workforce Development at Catalyst Connection. Catalyst is the organization that runs the What's So Cool About Manufacturing program here in Southwestern Pennsylvania, and we'll talk about that more here in some of these opening remarks. But we're extremely excited to have you with us today. And to celebrate the work of the students, celebrate the work of our manufacturers, and celebrate manufacturing in general. So I want to start off by just saying a big thanks to our friends here at Westmoreland County Community College. This is a beautiful facility. Show of hands, who's been here before? Okay, not most of the room, which is great. So you get a chance to experience the college campus here a little bit too while you're here. So this room and kind of this general concourse area was just remodeled within the last couple of years. So a nice upgrade to the campus here, but Westmoreland County Community College does have a table in the hallway today. I encourage you to go out and interact with them and learn more about the college and learn more about the programs they offer here. Not only here at this campus, but there's another campus, another mile or two up the road called the Advanced Technology Center. And the Advanced Technology Center is where they do a lot of their hands-on skill training programs, like all of their manufacturing training programs. So it'd be a welder, a CNC machinist, HVAC. I don't know what else they have there, but you can go ask them today what else they have there. But it's a really awesome facility at another campus not far from here with even more learning opportunities and pathways into careers. So again, excited about being here at WCCC today, and we thank them for all of their help in getting this coordinated today. So it's a very exciting time for us, not only at Catalyst Connection, but also at manufacturing in general. The first thing that's exciting to us is this is our 10th year of doing this program. So let's give a big round of applause for doing 10th year. I should have double checked my AV team. Everything's going good back there. Okay, good. I made an announcement earlier that if you're not, if you have family or friends or teachers or fellow students that aren't here today, we are streaming this live. So they can go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Catalyst Connection, and you can watch the live stream, and that'll also be recorded. So if you want to share it with somebody after the fact or put it on your social media pages or whatnot, that's still an option after the ceremony today. So I wanted to mention that. But yes, exciting time for us to have our 10th year of doing this program here in Southwestern Pennsylvania, but also in manufacturing in general. Of course, you guys have already learned a little bit about this, and we're going to talk about it throughout the morning as far as just the excitement of these well-paying, exciting, technology-driven careers in manufacturing that you have a chance to see for yourselves. We're going to hear more about with our panel discussion today. But just to kind of give you a little bit of a couple of things really exciting happening in the region. Not only do we make a wide array of different types of products here, but for example, do you guys know we're rebuilding the entire nuclear submarine fleet right now? So there is a massive amount of Navy work for the Department of Defense. Maybe some of our companies here are involved in that, I'm not sure. But that's being done here in Southwestern Pennsylvania. That's a huge initiative happening across the country and in our region. We have across Pennsylvania, a very large space industry that's expanding right now. So I don't know if you heard of a company called Astrobotic that put a lunar lander into space that launched and was controlled from Pittsburgh. So I think that's pretty exciting. And a lot of companies in that supply chain doing stuff for SpaceX and what's it? Blue Origin, is that the other one? That's doing the supply chain here as well. Biomanufacturing and biotechnology is an emerging sector that's growing a lot here. And then the continued advancements in things like 3D printing, robotics, big data, artificial intelligence that's changing our manufacturers, but also is exciting things happening in the area. So again, some of you might have already experienced some of this. We're going to talk about it a little bit more throughout the day today. But just wanted to share a couple of those exciting things happening in our region. So with that, speaking of excitement and exciting things happening in the region, we have a fantastic, exciting panelist today. 3 individuals that work at our local manufacturing companies, and we wanted to give a chance to chat with them a little bit about their career pathways and how they got into their career in manufacturing. Maybe give you some additional insight from what you've already learned from the videos, and some tips and tricks and some insights from their perspective about what they wish they would have known if they could go back in time to their younger selves, etc. So with that, I'm going to pass the mic and have them introduce themselves, their name, their titles, and what their company does briefly. We'll just pass down the line and go from there, all right?
Thank you. I'm Justin Hartsick, and I work at Rochling Industrial in Mount Pleasant. We are a machine shop that we machine plastics and composite material, and we just started an assembly area for transportation industry. So for passenger trains, we do the entire inner walls and ceilings. So you look to your right, we make all of that material. I'm a process engineer, so I made all of our processes from our assembly, from small, like assembly work, and then bonding structural adhesives to our product. Yeah.
Good morning, guys. My name is Joe Derfler. I work for FS Elliott. We're out in Export, PA. I'm an associate product manager. So what FS Elliott does is we make centrifugal air compressors. So if you go to Sheets, if you go and fill up your tire with air, similar to that process, but a lot larger. So we make compressors for anywhere from like 2,000 to 25,000 CFM for large industrial, engineered, and like air separation companies that have instrument air, purging nitrogen, a lot of different industries that we deal with. So in my role, essentially, I like to explain it as 50% engineering and 50% business. So I pretty much help sales essentially try to figure out what they need to quote for a certain job, what kind of price we can go to, what we can offer, and then on the engineering side of things of what we can change with the product. So it's very cool about FSL. It is like our air ends are specifically made in the United States, so everything's machined in-house. We buy gearing separately, but everything besides that, it's all built in the USA. So it's something to stand behind.
Hi, I'm Hannah. I'm a test engineer at Intervala. Intervala is a contract manufacturer, so we'll build electrical circuit boards. We have a machine shop. We do cable assemblies. Basically, what we do, we just build to the spec of our customers. We'll constantly try to improve them, increase our efficiency. As test engineers specifically, I'll help create the tests that our test technicians on the floor will do, and fixturing, whatnot.
So Hannah, hang on to the mic. If you go back to your younger self, did you have any idea what manufacturing was prior to starting a career in it? And what is the one thing that maybe surprised you when you got into manufacturing, started your career in manufacturing?
So I had no really knowledge of manufacturing. Sorry. I didn't really think I'd go into manufacturing growing up at all. But starting at Intervala, I was on the floor as a technician. And I liked that because I was working on multiple different things, considering what we do, so we were doing everything. And I enjoy manufacturing because you're kind of doing something for other people. Like what you're doing is helping other people in a way, and that's what I like about manufacturing.
Same question, Joe.
So yeah, I didn't know exactly what manufacturing was from a young age. So does anyone know what combat robotics is? Handful of people. So some people might know me. So I did Bots IQ back in high school. So what that is essentially it's a 15-pound robot competition where you design, build, implement these robots, and then you go and compete them for 2 or 3 competitions. So when I was in high school, I didn't really know what my career path was going to be. I essentially thought it was going to be something in business. A lot of people in my family did sales. So when this robotics thing came up, I pretty much was like, okay, this is very interesting. So once I was a senior, I decided to become a mechanical engineer, but I had that aspect for 4 years of what manufacturing was, going on tours that Bots IQ did with us, with our industry advisor, and walking through these plants and understanding what manufacturing was all about. And I was hooked from there. To today, where, at FSLA, we have a full manufacturing or machine shop and assembly place. It's like a candy land for me. I can go and walk out on the shop floor and see what's going on. I'm probably out there 3 or 4 times a day. My boss sometimes yells at me, like, "Oh, what are you doing out there?" But it's a quick lap, just seeing what's going on. And it's really fun going from that 9th grader seeing to today of sticking with it, of questioning myself, do I really want to do this? Is this something for me? So my one thing is if you enjoy something, don't question it, just keep sticking with it, don't change it up. Because overall, within the next 10 years plus, you'll see the benefits from it.
Joe's being very humble, by the way. Joe's been on the BattleBots TV show numerous times, in one, I think.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
he'll be doing autographs later.
Yeah.
That's one, or see pictures of his bigger robot that he built. So, and we'll put a quick plug in before Justin tells us a little bit more about his journey. But if you're not doing anything Friday or Saturday, particularly Saturday, because you should be in school on Friday, the BattleBots Finals is taking place at Penn West University, California University campus. So if you want to go and see 15-pound battling robots and see high school students that have built those and are competing all day, it's a super fun day. Another college campus you get to visit, but also companies will have tables there and stuff as well. But very fun day. If you're an adult in the room, they're always looking for volunteers. So I'll just put that quick plug in for them as well. But back to our panel. Justin, tell us a little bit more about your early exposure to manufacturing.
So early on, I was not very versed in manufacturing whatsoever. I actually wanted to be a physician's assistant up until my senior year of high school. I had no idea that I wanted to be an engineer. But going into my senior year of high school, I was doing really, really well in math. And I was like, I really have a knack for this. I really shouldn't just let this skill go away. So I went into college thinking, oh, I want to be a chemical engineer. Well, changed that immediately whenever I took my first chemistry exam. But I loved calculus. I love calculus throughout all four. And I kind of learned I love solving problems. And where is that at? It's in the manufacturing field. You really just want to nitpick and solve it, make it more efficient, make it more safe, and make the quality of our parts just better.
So Justin, you don't have to have it all figured out by the time you graduate high school.
Absolutely not. You don't. You can change. You have the ability to change whenever. In college, it costs more, but definitely you do have the opportunity. You don't have to be full on set, but when you do something, you want to be the best at what you do.
I'm going to go to my list of questions. I had something that totally left my brain, but so manufacturers are adopting a lot of Industry 4.0 technologies, things like robotics, 3D printing, automation, cybersecurity initiatives, artificial intelligence. Just wondering if any of the panelists have seen any of that happening in your organizations or hearing conversations about that, exploring that within your organizations.
Yeah, so I would say probably 2 years ago, we invested in a robotic arm. So we bought new Mazak mills. So part of the process of machining our air ends, you have impellers, diffusers, backplates, comp cases, and then you have the main air end essentially. So all those parts and pieces go into one, and that's what you can essentially compress air through the first stage all the way through to the fourth stage. So essentially we machine all that stuff, diffusers, impellers, backplates, etc. So where we were seeing a lot of issues are with our larger diffusers essentially is we're having to load 24-inch pieces of aluminum into an actual chuck. So you would have to have a crane. You'd probably, have 2 people trying to load it up into the mill or delay this essentially. So with this process, it's easy. We have a robot arm that literally will sit in the middle, lift up the material, put it into the chuck, and it's able to rotate back and forth to both machines. So we've had that for about 2 years right now. It's still working out its kinks, like anything. It's something new to the process. It wasn't one of those things where you buy and it's just going to work. There's a lot of different things that's going on with it. 3D printing wise, I would say that we're kind of dabbling into it a little bit, especially on the metal side of things. I don't necessarily know if 3D printing metals right now is where everyone believes it's at. I would say probably within the next 10 years, it's going to be very sufficient. But mainly right now, if you need like a jig for machining tooling that you can't really make, that's the perfect application for the 3D printing industry for metals, essentially. 3D printing like plastic and whatnot, that's awesome too for prototyping X, Y, and Z. I more or less, we have, again, for our air ends, we've had a company before make us a 3D model, 3D printed model, and they charged X figure that was outrageous essentially, and we got another quote for it maybe like 2 years ago. And I kind of opened my mouth and said, oh, I can do that, why not? And here today, I've built maybe like 50 or 60 of those models. So it's a good process. It's also a good tool to use for sales and trade shows that you can go to and people can actually hold the model. It's a 20% model of one of our actual air ends. So you can spin it, you can rotate it. If you're actually going to buy the air end itself, you want to be able to see like what you're buying. Because a lot of these people, they're process engineers, they just quote the stuff and they buy it. They don't eventually really see what it is until it's in the field. So it's something cool to have in your hand versus a brochure.
Hannah, I've been at your place at Intervala, and I know you guys have at least one robot in there, but your whole process is very automated. Could you just talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I'm not too familiar with our robot, but I do know we do have one. It helps build one of the more, we build a lot of these, how do you say, but they're just little cups and they get LEDs. We build a lot of them, so to kind of take back from like a human sitting there, there's a lot of human error with that, and there's just a lot that goes through our facility. We have a robot that now puts the LEDs in. It's more efficient for us. It helps us. It gets them out faster. Additionally, we also have started dabbling in 3D printing. We now have 3 3D printers up and running. We just do plastic printing and sometimes in TPU, depending on the application. But for this part, We mainly make like fixtures, like test department. We make like fixturing housings that we can put like the cables in whenever they're connecting up to the boards. Our process engineers will send us over stuff. It'll be like clamps for the cables, routing fixtures. We'll have like trays that we'll put the components in to make the machines will be easier to grab it. So that's kind of what we've been doing. It's really helped us a lot in our efficiency. But yeah.
So Hannah, keep the mic for just a minute, and Justin's getting a nice long break here. Don't worry, I'm going to come back to you. But Hannah, anybody ever heard of the term soft skills, life skills, something like that maybe in your schools? So I just want to talk a little bit about some of those non-technical skills that are important to you in your job, but then also that you see as that these students should be focused on for their future long-term success in whatever career they choose. The things like communication skills, people skills, presentation skills, any of those or others that you want to talk a little bit about.
Yeah, so soft skills are really important. Obviously, communication, you're going to be talking, no matter where you are, you're going to be talking to different departments. You're going to need to communicate effectively, like what you want done, what needs to be done. Obviously, I'm still getting better at this. But there's so much that goes into it. If you have the technical ability, but you don't have the soft skills, you're smart, but you need those soft skills to really push yourself forward in your career.
Great. Let's skip down to Justin on this one.
Same question.
Yep.
I believe that being patient is one of the best soft skills, and being able to listen. Being patient is really huge in the industry. There's times where I'm frustrated with things, but I took my time, waited, listened to everyone speaking, and we came up with a better solution than what we had initially proposed. It's just really critical. It's hard to develop. Some people take a little longer than others, but it's really, really critical in your career to be patient and be able to listen.
So I'm going to open it up to questions here soon. So any teachers or students in the room that have questions for the panelists, be certain to think about what those questions might be, because we're going to turn it to you here in just a couple of minutes. But let's go all the way back down the line again. Again, Justin, you can start us off. I want everybody to answer this next one. What do you see as your future for you as your career in manufacturing? Do you see an exciting future for yourself and upward mobility for you in manufacturing?
Yeah, for sure. Infrastructure of transportation is huge. It's starting to build in the United States. So being with Rocheling, we've been incorporated ourselves into that industry and plan to grow as much as possible. So,
what do you see as the next step for you in your career? Put you on the spot.
That's a difficult question to ask. What answer? Just sticking with Rocheling. I'm the only engineer for our plant, so I kind of just been handling our problems and hopefully more business.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would say the next steps for me, hopefully, is since I'm an associate, I'll become a product manager, hopefully soon. But the compressor business, I don't know if everyone keeps up with politics and whatnot, but like the LNG industry right now, so it's like a liquefaction process. That's big in the United States. So for us as FSL, we sell a lot of compressors to LNG manufacturers. Air separation, that's the main thing that I pretty much deal with day to day. So anything with like EV batteries, chips, pharmaceutical, that's pretty much growing in the United States in the past 5 years essentially, and now you're seeing a lot of these plants being fulfilled and being built. So, within the next 5 years, 5 plus 10 years, FSLA seems to have a lot of good prospects within the United States especially, and then also globally. So globally, we sell a ton of engineered compressors to a bunch of oil refineries. So, but yeah, the outlook is pretty good. Again, right now with a bunch of tariffs and whatnot, my day-to-day is kind of consumed into that. I would say you guys are a little bit too young to be knowing about that, but tariffs right now for like the political stuff, it's pretty big for manufacturing, trying to understand how that impacts us regionally. So that's a big conversation.
I just want to emphasize one of the things Joe just said, because we have a lot of companies here, right here in this backyard, in your backyards, that are internationally owned companies. So the opportunity to start here in southwestern Pennsylvania, travel the world, paid by somebody else to go and work with customers and clients all around the globe, but also potentially work for a while in another country at another satellite location or the parent company or things like that. So just know that, we do exciting things here, but it's also just taking that first step on the journey that can open up all kinds of doors and opportunities and experiences for you to do some exciting things around the world. So, what were we talking about?
Where do you see yourself?
Yeah, where do you see yourself? Do you see a future of manufacturing? Do you see an upward pathway and more opportunities to continue to grow and grow your career?
Yeah, so I see myself being in manufacturing for most of my career, hopefully. Especially in contract manufacturing, people are always going to need something built. They're always going to be trying to push out to you, so there's always going to be something there.
So, last question for me. From your perspective, what you see every day, your career trajectory, whatever angle you want to take from it, what do you think is so cool about manufacturing?
I mean, going out to the floor, like on our shop floor, you just see like all the machines running. You can see like everybody just doing their job and how it's supposed to be done. It's just interesting to see how like just technology alone is advancing and how we're able to just keep up with that.
Cool.
I would agree. When you start with a project, so like a compressor takes anywhere from like 40 to 52 weeks to essentially quote, or once the customer buys it, and it takes 52 weeks to essentially build it. So it's weird because like, a year in advance, you go out and see like, oh, this is something you kind of worked on. So it's kind of cool. You get to walk around the shop. There's little bits and pieces that you see that's getting made currently. And also interacting with the guys too, like the shop guys. Like it's cool to like have them know you by name and like know like, hey, you can help me out in some sort of way. Because essentially like processes can be changed, process can be improved, but a lot of times people don't know how to change that process. So I feel like if you're trying to engage with people and you try to tell them like who you are, what you do, maybe they'll trust you a little bit and say, hey, can you help me out with this? And if you can't, you know who you can go to. Similar like we were talking about the soft skills. If you are very talkative and you are very well liked within a company and you talk to a lot of people, that's going to get you a long way to where like people are going to start saying like, hey, so-and-so can do this, like so-and-so, I think so-and-so will be great at this. So that would be my recommendation.
So I think interpersonal skills, but then also you guys have already experienced this just through this program, but teamwork and working as a team. And you probably had some, hopefully you didn't have anybody on the team that wasn't pulling their weight on the team, but you probably all had, hey, you got to get your job done effectively and you got to get your job done effectively. And if we don't both do our jobs effectively and communicate, we're not going to get this video done, right? So that translates to the real world here in manufacturing careers too. Bring us home, Justin.
So, what's the question again?
What do you think is so cool about manufacturing?
So I think that seeing the whole process from start to finish, we have our sister company in Cleveland that does the start of our product. It's resin. It's this liquid material. And we see that process go from that liquid material all the way to the inside of an entire train. You see the walls, you see the structure, you see the windows attached. It's real. You see like, oh, I did this. I managed to get this from this liquid material all the way over to a functional train for people to sit and enjoy and utilize. So.
Questions from the group. I want at least 2 student questions. So who's a student here that's got a question for our panelists about their career or about something cool? Nice and loud.
How do your companies like adapt to what like people want manufactured today versus what they wanted years ago?
Anybody can take these questions, by the way. So
I would say like machines in general over time, they do change. So when we're talking about the machining process, if the 5-axis mill back in the 80s or 90s existed versus today, that machine 30 years from now is well more advanced, quicker to machine stuff. Where that machine back in the 80s might have taken 5 or 6 hours, the machine in 2025 can take an hour. So you can cut down on a lot of costs and process-wise and save a bunch of time. So you can cut more parts essentially. So the capital cost could be large, but essentially over time it pays itself off.
another student question. Who else has a question? You want to ask about careers, about college, about pathways, about skills? Okay, we'll go with
How
one
long
question.
did each of you go to school for, and what was your degree in?
So I went to the University of Pittsburgh for computer engineering, and I was there for 4 years.
I had a little bit of a different path. I went to University of Pittsburgh for all 4 years, but I went to Pitt Greensburg for 1, and then I went 3 years to Pitt Johnstown. So I have a mechanical engineering background. So they pretty much started out engineering, pre-engineering at Greensburg, and then finished engineering off of Johnstown.
So I have a 4-year degree in industrial engineering at West Virginia University. It's pre-engineering just like that. First year, you don't really need to have this decision on what you're doing. So I was chemical at first, but then I switched over to industrial my second year in.
Show of hands from our panelists, how many of you have stopped learning since college? You've learned everything you needed to know in high school and college, there's nothing else to learn, you're good to go, put the books away, you don't do online training anymore. No. So they're constantly learning, being a lifelong learner. Once school's done, you're not done learning. There's always something new to learn, especially when to keep advancing your career. So, and I would imagine, show of hands, how many of your companies have sent you to training, trained you on the job, provided a mentor, something along the lines, right? So your company will help to continue to train you to be even better and to advance your career. Joe has a comment.
I will say, when I was a freshman in Greensburg, we had a panelist come talking about careers. And you guys might be a little bit too young to realize this, but when I was a freshman in college, there was a guy from Duquesne Light that essentially told me 97% of the stuff you learn in college, you're not going to use in your day-to-day job. 3% is what you learn throughout college, is what you retain of how you essentially learn it. And then whoever hires you, they're going to teach you what you need to know. So, you know, college is very important, but I wouldn't beat yourself up over, you know, a lot of this stuff. Like, you'll be okay once you graduate and once you go along. So.
And there's a lot of short-term pathways now to apprenticeship programs, short-term certification trainings. A place like this, they can get an accelerated pathway to these jobs, so you can start earning money right away, get your dream car, and get your apartment and all that kind of stuff faster. So I know that's a trend that we're seeing in the world today, as far as students looking for faster pathways, getting into the real world faster and being able to hit some of their goals and dreams. But of course, you could start here and then go on to another college. Or start at a college like these folks have, because there's a lot of different pathways, a lot of different options. So, any last questions? We'll take one more question if we have one more.
Your companies pay for like advanced degrees?
Yeah, our company offers tuition reimbursement. I forget the value exactly, but each semester you get paid a certain amount. So a lot of companies have started going that direction. So keep learning.
Yeah, FSLA does offer that, but a lot of times, some companies do, others don't. But there's a lot of times is you go to college, but you also have to keep up with your grades for them to give you that stipend back. So it's not like you'll go and take classes and then your work stuff kind of catches up and school kind of falls behind. A lot of that stuff is you have to meet certain criteria to get actually reimbursed, but yes.
Yeah, Interval also has a tuition reimbursement. I don't know how much, and I don't know how often they would pay twice semester-wise, but they do offer tuition reimbursement.
And I may be wrong in this, but it may be one of the people looking out in the audience. If I remember correctly, this General Carbide, are you guys the ones that you pay tuition reimbursement based on the grades you get in your?
Yes. So if you receive an A, you receive 100% reimbursement. Anything below a C, there's no reimbursement. So we also don't reimburse for, salsa dance classes or anything like that, so.
So they obviously want to continue to train you for the job and to help their company. So it's not going to be like, hey, I want to learn about social media or learn this thing if I can't apply it to the company or to my current job, right? So great questions. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, panelists. We really appreciate it. I'll take the mic back. All right, so you may be thinking to yourself, well, that all sounded intriguing, and of course I've learned a little bit about manufacturing through this program, but I want to learn more. How do I continue to stay abreast of all the cool stuff happening in manufacturing and or opportunities to engage in programs or competitions or whatnot? So one way you can do that is follow us on social media. There's our social media contacts, and of course if you're taking any photos or videos or anything throughout the day today, we encourage you to tag us, and that way we can share those out through our network as well. But also we have a couple of websites that you can check out, catalystconnection.org, but more specifically I would go to explorenewmfg.org. This is a website where you can see what are the most in-demand jobs in manufacturing, what are the skills required for those jobs. and just learn a little bit more. And there's some video games you can download and play via that website. And there'll also, I'm sure, be a blog post by Hannah, my colleague there in the back, about today's event. So if you want to see photos from today and a little write-up about it, that'll also be on the Explore website as well as our social media. So I encourage you to check all of those out. So it's hard to believe now that we've been doing this program for 10 years, but we couldn't do it, and it wouldn't be possible without our sponsors like the Appalachian Regional Commission. That is our main sponsor for the program currently. And this program, you may or may not know, is a statewide program. So it actually started on the other side of Pennsylvania about 12 or 13 years ago. And then we were the second region to adopt the program here. This is our second regional contest. We had another group of students and companies and whatnot with us last week for our Pittsburgh Central contest. But I just want to show you a quick little video for those that aren't familiar with the bigger picture of what this program is doing across the entire state of Pennsylvania.
What's so cool about manufacturing? Student video teams from across the state are paired with Pennsylvania manufacturers and tasked with producing a 2-minute video about their company's unique work environment and career opportunities. To be successful, students learn digital storytelling skills, including producing, videography, editing, and marketing. They record all their video during one visit to the manufacturer, then edit for weeks to whittle hours of raw footage down to 2 minutes. Finally, they create and execute an original outreach plan to get others to watch their finished product. With these new digital storytelling skills, students are capturing and sharing videos about jobs in manufacturing. Their videos educate students, parents, and teachers about career pathways and dispel the myths and stigmas often associated with manufacturing jobs. After 13 years, this successful career awareness program now boasts an interactive library of 1,300 student-created videos which schools use to further students' career exploration. What's so cool about manufacturing was started in 2013 by a consortium led by Manufacturers Resource Center with 16 school districts. Today, 312 school districts have participated, representing over 60% of the state. That means since the contest began, it has impacted 62 of the 67 counties in the Commonwealth. Our students have partnered with 630 unique manufacturers over the years, and more than 7,000 students have participated since the contest's inception, resulting in a projected number of online votes totaling 4 million. What's so cool about manufacturing not only gives student teams the opportunity to learn about careers, technology, and digital storytelling, but the program is changing perceptions of students, parents, educators, and the community about what jobs really look like at Pennsylvania manufacturers. And that's what's so cool about manufacturing.
Or if you're here in the audience and you have not gone to the statewide website, I strongly encourage you to do so. You can actually search that library of over 1,100, 1,200 videos. You can search it by type of industry, by materials that they use to make their products, by region, so you can really do a deep dive on there. Anybody ever heard of a little company called Crayola? Crayola is a Pennsylvania-based company that you can go and watch a video about. Maybe Peeps. Anybody like Peeps? Little marshmallows? They're made in Pennsylvania, Nestle bottled water, Martin Guitar. Just give you a couple of examples from outside of our region where you can go and watch videos on that website about those as well. So not only is there a lot of schools obviously involved across the state, a lot of manufacturers that are aware of this program, but there's another gentleman who also is pretty aware of the program that wanted to say hello. So here's a video from him.
Congratulations to all the amazing students who've worked really hard to show the world what is so cool about manufacturing in Pennsylvania. I know you've worked hard on your videos, but I want you to know that as governor, I'm really proud of you. Your hard work is putting a spotlight on the amazing manufacturing companies that call our Commonwealth home. And to all the participating companies, sponsors, schools, teachers, and superintendents who supported their work, sincerely, thank you. Together, you're telling the Pennsylvania story. How in factories and plants all across our Commonwealth, Pennsylvania workers are manufacturing, processing, and packaging the products that folks and companies rely on every single day. From the snacks in our pantries, to the semiconductors that power our phones, to the steel we use to build the bridges we drive on. Since October, over 12,000 students across our Commonwealth got the chance to see some of that work up close and in person, and create videos that showcase the incredible skills of laborers and workers who do this work in our factories and the products that they make. I'm proud to help honor and celebrate that awesome work with all of you, and to congratulate the winning submissions. Congratulations.
Thank you, Governor. Appreciate that. So, of course, none of this would be possible without our schools that are involved in the program, our companies, and our students. So at this time, I'd like to have all the students please stand up, and let's give a big round of applause for all the hard work of all the students involved in the program over the course of the last several months. You're allowed to applaud for yourselves, too. So, nice.
What is happening? Calm down, it's just a power outage. This is a job for the 6 Secret Detectives! To the library we go. Guys, I found it. Come here. Oh. Hitachi Energy? Whoa!
to Hitachi Energy.
Here we make several power safety components. We have dead tank breakers, which are breakers that are used at substations and keep us safe. We also have surge arresters, which are also a similar safety piece of equipment for power substation. We have capacitors and disconnects. I'd say our most popular product that we produce here is the dead tank breaker.
A circuit breaker, it's a safety device. So it has to be assembled and tested correctly. It has to work.
To me, quality means that you're doing the right thing at all times, even when no one is looking. So here at Hitachi Energy, we have this saying that quality is in our DNA.
Probably the three main components when you're buying a part is it needs to meet form, fit, and function.
Troubleshooting is a complex process. You know, it has many variables. Sometimes it's a misunderstanding. Sometimes it's just a malfunction.
My favorite part of my job is that I get to come in and solve problems and do something completely different every day.
This is what's so cool about manufacturing.
Dealing with some technology issues with the stream, but we are back with the camera, so we're good. Moving along, our next award category is for outstanding creativity. Schools were encouraged to think out of the box, to be innovative and creative in the way in which they told their story of what's so cool about manufacturing, while making it entertaining for their fellow friends to want to go and actually watch their videos. So we have 2 award winners for this category. Our second place winner for most creative goes to Mount Pleasant with Hitachi Energy. Please stand up and be recognized. We obviously just watched their video, so we won't watch it again. But our first place winner for most creative goes to Menneson with Interval. Please come out and get your award while we watch your video.
It's a twister, Mr. Stride. Follow the yellow tape road. Follow the yellow tape road. If only I had a brain.
We're a contract manufacturer of electronics and electromechanical assemblies, which means that we're building other companies' products for them. I'm an engineer by degree. It is important in this industry and in my position that you have a technical background and be able to problem solve. So my engineering degree has been vitally important to them. A lot of training. You know, you come out of college with a degree and that's just the foundation for the lifelong learning that you need to accomplish in this industry. So there's an enormous amount of training to get to the director level.
If only I had a heart.
It takes a lot of heart. It takes a lot of heart and I'd say a lot of patience. You have to be willing to take the time to look at everything thoroughly, make sure you're doing it to the standard that our customer has set for us. And I think that takes a lot of heart to be able to step back and say, I'm not sure this is the level that I need it to be at.
If only I had some courage.
I honestly have not thought of myself as a female anything throughout my whole career. When I went to college and enrolled as an engineer, I did not know that I was going to be like one of only a couple of females in my class. So I don't think I've ever really thought about that. I think it's more about, you just need to have a passion for what you do and be courageous in whatever that is and just go do it.
I chose Intervala because when I came here to interview, everyone was very friendly and it was kind of a different process for me. I'm a mechanical engineer, so this was a nice place for me to broaden my education and learn some new things. I really love it here.
There's no place like Intervala. There's no place like Intervala. There's no place like Intervala.
Kennedy, wake up!
What happened?
You passed out.
I had a crazy stream. You were there and you were there.
Class dismissed.
I can't wait to go to class and have to learn about
What's so cool about manufacturing?
We always love the videos too that showcase the creative theme all throughout the video. So if you're coming back to our program next year, start with your creative, embedded in the middle, finish with your creative. So we love seeing that. So our next award category is for Viewer's Choice. Over the course of the last week, people from all over southwestern Pennsylvania and beyond went online to vote for the work of the students to help us determine our Viewer's Choice Award, which basically means the most votes wins. So you can see for our Eastern Regional contest, we had 36,112 votes cast in a matter of just 5 days. In our Central contest, we had an additional 132,000 votes cast over 5 days. There was more schools, so that's partially why. But over 160,000 votes in total that were cast for these videos this year. So I'm curious amongst the students, how many of you voted more than once? More than 10 times? More than 100? More than 1,000 times? How many of you sat in study hall all day long, just go, we're voting, right? So I can tell by some of the scores that is exactly what happened. But hopefully you watch the videos too, because it's all about learning and seeing the work of your fellow students, not just about the constant voting. But we do appreciate the enthusiasm for this category every year. In this category, we have 2 award winners this year. So our second place winner for Viewer's Choice goes to River Valley with Clark Metal Products. Victor here, he goes and stand up. Applause again, stand up. Here. We're actually going to watch their video.
Do you take pride in America? Because I know I do. Clark Metal is a manufacturing company whose products originated from the United States of America. That's why so many people put their trust in Clark Metal, who have a large variety of products they make. What differentiates Clark Metal from other companies around the area? What kind of products does Clark Metal make? Let's find out.
Clark Metal is located in Blairsville, PA. It is also a family-owned business. J.W. Clark started the business in 1954, and his sons, Jack and Dave, later took over. They treat every customer as family.
Can I get your name?
Sure. My name is David Clark, Jr.
And what is your title here at Clark Manufacturing?
So I am the third-generation co-owner and president of the business.
Why is it important for your products to be made in America?
That's a very good question. I think a variety of different things. You know, I think one, from almost kind of a historical perspective, you think a lot of the things that this country was built on, were manufacturing. You think about back into certainly World War II and the war effort, and really the, backbone of America during that time, I think was manufacturing. You look more kind of at the current time, it's a big part of our economy. Certainly, businesses like ours allow folks to, earn a solid, a solid income and kind of help build the middle class.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to somebody that would like to work in your field in the future?
The best advice is, it's not the dirty job that people think that manufacturing and metalworking is.
Yeah.
There's a lot of everything from, we have robots to lasers. There's a lot of cool and interesting stuff that you can get involved in.
What's your name?
I'm Shawnee Wagner.
What's your title?
I'm a graphics technician.
What is it like working here in a male-dominant manufacturing company?
I think it's like normal. Like, I can't tell any difference. I feel like we're more like a family here. You help me, I help you, and we just go about normal.
That is why so many people put their trust in Clark Metal.
And our first place winner that received the most votes for our Viewer's Choice Award goes to Menneson with their dollar. We obviously already watched Menneson's video, so we're going to continue on to our next award category. Our next award category is for Best Promotion Award. For this award, we asked the schools to report out what they did to promote their videos leading up to and during the week of online voting. A heavy emphasis of our judges was placed on thinking outside of the box with their promotion, in the video, in their community at large and how they were going to promote their video. Our winning team this year really impressed us with the variety of different marketing efforts they used, but more specifically, we were very impressed with how they aligned their marketing strategy to the theme of their video, which we thought was a very nice creative tie-in and something that could bode well for them as they go into maybe a future career in marketing. And having a synergistic message we thought was a fantastic thing. So the winner for this year's Best Promotion Award goes to, they should have stayed standing, Menneson with Intervala. Just to give you a little bit of example of something they did in their school. So they had a yellow brick road in their school. Again, tying back to their video theme, they had handed out candy to the students, maybe to bribe them for votes, I'm not sure. But also had some messaging on the candy that they handed out to the students. So again, I think tying in that whole theme and going above and beyond in the promotion of their school, we thought was a great connecting point. So congratulations again to them. And it's not uncommon for us to have those that do the best promotion end up with the most votes as well. There's a direct correlation there for schools or teams to think about for next year. So we are down to our last two award categories. Our next to last category is for the winner of the Best Manufacturing Message, which showcased what modern manufacturing looks like, the highly technical skills required for careers, and a great use of interviews with their partnering company. This category is always typically very hard for us to decide on winners. So in this category, we actually have a first, second, and third place winner for this category, and we'll be watching each of those schools' videos. So our third place winner for Best Manufacturing Message goes to Connellsville with TSI Touch. Let's watch the video.
Today, we're learning about what's so cool about manufacturing. Open your books to page 405.
We have to go to TSI Touch.
What's TSI Touch?
Okay guys, we're at TSI Touch.
Wait, Nick, isn't this your dream? Why are you here? I don't know.
Where's Jeffrey?
Who's Jeffrey? Who's Jeffrey? Who's Jeffrey? Who's Jeffrey?
Go to the interactive table. You might be able to find him there.
TSI Touch is a leading manufacturer of touchscreen and protective solutions for commercial-grade displays. Their company is dedicated to consistently providing customers with high-quality and cost-effective interactive solutions for their specific needs. TSI strives to touch the world through interactive technology. What's your name and what's your role here?
My name's John Presbolinski. I'm the president of TSI Touch.
What do you think is so cool about manufacturing?
I think manufacturing is cool because you never know what you're going to walk into each day. A great example is earlier this year. We have 42 people here at this building. Woke up, walked in, and had no idea that that day they would see the world's largest curved touchscreen. We had the largest world's touchscreen set up right here in Uniontown, PA, and that's exciting. That is what I think is so cool about manufacturing.
My name is Nick Pitzman, and I am in production, and what we do is that we, everything that comes in, we build, push out about 1,000 screens a year, just build everything from start to finish. So I think it's pretty cool seeing your product and other people who you've never even met, like just random people in California are using your product every day, and knowing that you made it, I think it's pretty cool.
Our second place winner for Best Manufacturing Message goes to Greater Johnstown with Lockheed Martin. Congratulations. Let's watch the video.
Now boarding Greater Johnstown at Lockheed Martin.
So manufacturing has changed through the years because of technological advancements and improvements to processes. So many years ago, back in the 1800s, early 1900s, it was dingy environments, hazardous chemicals and so forth. But with OSHA, the safety guidelines to improve processes and engineering technology advancements, it's improved manufacturing processes and so forth. So today, when you walk out into our 5 facilities, the floor is immaculate. You can eat off of it.
Here at Lockheed Martin, quality is everything.
Right here is a liquid penetrant. It's a green fluorescent dye that what it does is it goes into a defect. It has to be a surface defect if there is a defect in the part, and then it will go over to a station where we rinse the dye off. We'll dry the part, and then we also use a powder that will pull the dye out of the defect if there is a defect in the part.
Who doesn't love a good old dip, dye, rinse, dry?
As a team, we make sure our finished product goes out the door.
Teamwork has a major role here because every area is different and they all come together to put together one part. And when the part comes to your specific area, everybody has to get together to get the job done to make sure that part goes out the door the way it's supposed to be.
Manufacturing at Lockheed Martin isn't just about machines. It's about problem solving, teamwork, and being a part of something big.
Mindset that you need for manufacturing are communication, dedication, commitment to the product, and always working towards high quality.
Finally, a workplace that supports veterans.
I am a veteran, so what I like most about it is being around a product that supports our warfighters throughout the world.
At Lockheed Martin, every detail matters, every challenge is met, and every mission is a success. Another mission accomplished.
And our first place winner for Best Manufacturing Message this year goes to Somerset area with 4 Guys Fire Trucks. You guys can get your work in hand and get your photo. We're going to watch your video.
Every year, there are thousands of deadly fires across our nation, and we depend on firefighters and their equipment to step in and defend our lives and our property.
A firefighter's equipment plays an essential role in keeping them safe and allowing them to respond in the most challenging situations. 4 Guys Fire Trucks has been manufacturing high-quality custom fire trucks in Myersdale, Pennsylvania for 50 years. They're committed to keeping our first responders safe on every call.
My name is Rich Leonard. I'm the electrical head here at 4 Guys. I usually go over any electrical questions. Fire companies come in, I go over the trucks with them, make sure we go over the orders together. We go over every little thing and make sure they're getting what they originally ordered. And if they have any changes at that point, we'll make the changes then. And then they stay in close contact with me throughout the build. So if they happen to change anything along the way, we can make those changes before they come to pick up the truck.
I'm Mark Albright. I'm president and CEO of 4 Guys Fire Trucks, and I've been working here for 42 years now. 4 Guys began in 1974, so this was actually our 50th anniversary that we celebrated. And we began as a milk tank manufacturer repair facility for Brenner Tank. And in the first couple years it wasn't going real well, so we actually turned the product of hauling milk to hauling water for the fire industry, and that's what really made us grow and take off over these last 50 years. And we are now the business that we are, obviously because of our workers and our dedication that they have in building the product, and also the local owners that support us. There's always a need for fire trucks, and we currently have over 80 signed contracts, and we can build about 40 trucks a year, so that's at least 2 years worth of work. And I'm sure we will continue to sign orders and continue to build the stainless steel fire trucks that we do.
What's so cool about manufacturing? 4 Guys Fire Trucks!
Our last award category for today is the best overall video. The winning schools in this category are chosen from amongst all the participants as the best overall video. The winning video has a quality video production, a clear manufacturing message, student voice, creativity, energy, and is aimed at the primary audience, which is other students. We have 2 award winners for this category. Our second place winner for best overall video for the 2025 10th year of the What's So Cool About Manufacturing video contest is Mount Pleasant with Hitachi Energy. We have already watched their video, so we will now announce our first place winner. So the first place winner for best overall video, this is also our school that will be representing the Eastern Pittsburgh region in our statewide contest, because there is all the best of the best teams from across the state are competing in Harrisburg in a few weeks. So our first place winner for best overall video goes to Somerset area with 4 Guys Fire Trucks. Obviously, I've watched their video already as well. So again, I would encourage and remind that all of the second and third place winners that we had to stand and recognize, make sure you get your awards before you leave today. And or see Hannah, who is out getting some ready for our next portion of our segment. So again, we want to just give a big round of applause for all the students involved, all the schools involved. You all did a great job, and hopefully, again, learned a lot, had a lot of fun, and hopefully, if you're a 7th grader, we'll see you again next year in our program coming back as 8th graders. So round of applause for everybody again. So this concludes the award ceremony portion of our day, but we are not done yet. Hopefully none of you are going back to your schools, because we still have fun stuff for you here, including lunch. So to those that are on our live stream, are you still streaming? If not, I'll stop talking. For those that are on our live stream, thank you for joining us today or watching the recorded of this. Again, we encourage you to go to what'ssocool.org. If you happen to be with a school that's watching us via the stream, then we encourage you to go to the Explore new mfg.org website. Reach out to us if your school is interested in participating in the program. Our program kicks off in the August-September timeframe with finalizing our schools for the year, a teacher training in September, and then we roll right into the program with visits to the company and starting production. So this is the time. If you are in the stream or watching this recorded, if you want to join our program for next year, reach out to us now and let us know. But thanks for joining us online. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something as well. If you haven't got a chance to watch all the student videos, please go watch them and enjoy the great work of all the students. So we're going to now pivot. Live stream's done. You guys can shut that down. We are going to pivot now to the rest of our day, and I'm going to share with you